For my morning talk show today, I thought you guys could help me wrap a present for Brooklyn. Brooklyn's birthday, 15. And you know, she learned to crochet. So I'm giving her a whole kit of the crochet hooks. And I put them in a bag. And I'm giving her this perfume because she's that age. Her favorite candy bar, and I'm going to give her some yarn, and then this I'm going to throw in because at this age she needs to know things that I can control and things I cannot control. So I already, if you remember, if you were watching me, you already saw how I let her order all that stuff from Temu for her birthday, but this was stuff I already had ahead of time. So you got to wrap a present on your birthday. Open a present on your birthday. So I will do it. All right. Now, if you have never seen me before, when I was in high school, I had a job of wrapping Christmas presents. It was my job, my first job. Besides babysitting, I always babysat. And so they taught me how to do it. If there's a way to teach you, I mean, a right way or a wrong way, there probably really isn't. But they always said to fold this under and make it be on a seam of your box, like right here. So, this box is not the perfect box, let me tell you. But I had to have one that was long that it fit into with the needles and stuff. So, she won't have to borrow crochet hooks from me anymore. It's the happiest thing a grandma can do is teach the children things you know how to do that's they're not teaching that in school. And then you go like this and crease the edges. And then you always want the seam down. They told us to go in like this, but I have too much paper. So then you're supposed to trim it off. Like this. So, now Trevor's two girls, London and Brooklyn, their high school is going on a band trip to, if I'm not mistaken, it's New York. It's still too long. And so they're trying to earn money because they have to have like $2,000 each or something. And so Trevor went to Logan, Utah, where they have good weather there. And I still haven't trimmed it enough, sorry. And he bought corn on the cob. And then you bring it back here and he sets up and has them sell it. So I'm going to go down there in a little bit and I'll film it of them selling their corn. So he thinks it's going to take till Monday because, you know, we have Labor Day now. And I said, no, it's not going to take that long. Because I know people around here, it sells fast. But he had to get up early this morning and go to Logan to get it with his big trailer. And so they didn't start selling till, you know, at 1 or so. And I thought that would be fun to go down there and let you guys watch the video and see what it's like for him selling it. Well, the girls are selling it. Okay, and then you do this and down and down. Okay, where's my tape? I always just like to use this big old long fat tape better. It's cheaper. than the Scotch tape. Okay. Clean up as you go. Always clean up as you go. No one else is going to do it for you. We all know. We mothers know that. Okay. Crease it, crease it, crease it, crease it. Okay. Now, what color? I already know what color. Her favorite color is purple. So I'm going to use the lavender ribbon. Because, you know, when you find out their color, then always get them stuff in that color. That's my clue for you. So, there. I probably did it in the wrong place. Sometimes, why do they make glue so good when you don't need it good, and then crappy glue when you do need it good? Do you ever notice that? Okay. Got it. Okay. Making a present prettier. Always put a bow on it. Especially birthday presents, because your birthday is once a year and it's all by yourself. Unless you're Carolyn and I, and Credence and Kyler, they were born on the same day. And Carolyn and I were born on the same day. Then you got to share your birthday. But, in other words, she's the only one today with a birthday. So, make it special. You can spend more on them, on their birthdays, than Christmas. Because at Christmas time, I have 88 people or something. 55 family members, and then more. But I am starting, my Temu ordered yesterday and today was all Christmas gifts. I had to cut that piece off because it had, you know, these 3 colors would be pretty for a bow all together. It would be looking like Easter. All right. Maybe I'll do that. Ta-da! Ta-da! Love doing that. Okay. Now I'll use some pink. The pink's not taped. Oh, yeah, it is. It's taped poorly, though. Okay, some pink. These are my old good scissors because I bought new ones. Oh, and they're such a delight. But now I'm glad I have these scissors that are good for this kind of thing. I can tell this edge on this side works better. Okay. When I gift wrapped in that store, they didn't have this kind of ribbon. My mother taught me how to do this kind of ribbon. In the store, they just had bows, this bow machine, and you made your own bows. And so then when the bows got low, I loved it because then I got to make bows, and it was so fun. And that, with that big machine. And the owner of the store was one of our church members, and he had a son. And I was always in love with him, but he didn't like me. But I always thought he was the best guy ever. We were like best friends, but really, if he wanted to be my boyfriend, I would have been his girlfriend, but we weren't just friends. He had all my girlfriends on and off were his girlfriends. So I dealt with it. I wasn't the one that people went after. You know, you learn at a young age that you're not that kind. That all the boys want to date next. So that did me out for all of them. But that was fine. It was fine. I was safe then. If you don't have a boyfriend, you're pretty safe. In other words, you're not ever going to get pregnant out of wedlock. You're not going to. My mother she didn't even set a curfew for me because I didn't have a boyfriend. What was I going to do? I didn't drink or anything. I always came home before the deadline because all my friends had to come home before the deadline too. All right, here it is. Last one. Oh, that's beautiful. For Brooklyn. I saw her be born. Although I don't remember much of the birth because her mother had 7 children and I saw all of them be born. And I got these from Temu. So I'm going to use one that says, here's a lavender one, happy birthday, to and from, which is silly, but we're going to do it anyway. If you bought it, use it. Now I'm going to find a good marker that will not run. I don't know what Jamie's doing today, but I know he has on a clean shirt because he ripped his other one. Did I show you how he ripped it? I'll show you. I was so happy. He ripped his shirt. Now I get to throw a shirt of his away and I don't have to see it anymore. The whole back. He was trying to tuck it in, I guess. He ripped the whole back. Yay. Don't have to wash it. The fabric's so rotten, I can't even use it, you know, like for patchwork or anything. But he ripped his jeans too. So I got to sew those and because they're brand new. To Brooklyn, or should I put Elf? Why I call her Elf is because at Christmas time, she was helping me so much that, and she didn't want her name to be out there. So I said, okay, you'll be Elf. I'll put Elf on here too. I almost spelled it wrong. I almost spelled it like Eve. It's Elf. Okay, Elf. And guess what? This pin wasn't the good pin, and that was slickery. I'm going to put this piece of tape over it. I learned that anyway. These sticky things for your packages at Christmas time, you can't always depend on them. Sometimes they fall off, and then you're like, who's this present to? And I'm going to tell you a story one time. We had like 17, all the kids were there. I don't know why I remember 17 people. Maybe it was 17 grandkids at the time. But anyway, they were all at the house for that Christmas opening presents in the living room. It was a nightmare. And they were trying to pass out the presents, and each family had their section to sit in. And it was just horrible because there were too many people. And the little kids were just all excited and rambunctious and running around. And, well, it's pity, huh? So then I had special gifts for Jamie, of course, and I wrote him a poem. I remember one was a poem I wrote him, and I don't remember what went with it or anything, but it was kind of a love poem, and I put it in a nice package and stuff. Well, evidently, we had him presents passed out, but somebody gave that present to Stephanie, his daughter, and so she's opening the present and reading the poem. I love you forever and ever for more, you know, whatever the poem was. And she's looking at me, because it said from Angela. She's looking at me as she's reading the poem. It did not go well. And everybody was opening other people's presents that didn't make, it was just a nightmare. So we don't do that anymore. You think all the family getting together would be the most happiest thing, but it's not. It's too many. You need to be in a big gym or something if you do it. And then Thanksgiving. Okay, we want to be like in the movies and pass the potatoes and everything around the big table with, 25 people. Pass the gravy, please. I even did 2 different, sections. Gravy at both ends, butter, and all that stuff. You're still never getting all your food. It's getting cold. The bowls are so heavy you can't pass them. It was a nightmare. Don't ever do that. So we just have to do a buffet and go fix your own plate. Let the adults go first because they get to have the first pick. Why do I do that? Have you seen little children go through the line and they pick at everything and then they put it back? And one time, I was having this spiral ham, and, it's expensive, and the little kid didn't know how to cut it or get it apart. Their parents should have been helping them, so they just took this big old hunk, and it was a whole bunch of pieces in that spiral, and then later, I look in the garbage, and the kid threw it away. Now, that was expensive, and it just about killed me, because I hate waste, because I was raised in a poor household. So we have a rule. If you don't want to eat all on your plate, ask somebody else if they want it. Because sometimes your dad will eat it because they're not scared of the kids' germs, or your mom. Now, here's a story. My sister, Shauna, she had 4 boys, and she was a single mom like me. And so if she ever took her kids to McDonald's or A&W or wherever, she would say, she would never order for herself. And she goes, no, I just eat what the kids leave. Because, you know, they never eat all the French fries. They never eat it when they're little. They never eat all of it. And she goes, so I just eat what they leave behind and I get plenty. So then I start doing it. And it's true. Buy yourself a drink. Or how about when you're poor and you get, when they have the free refills, my nail fell off here. When they have the free refills, so you just get the one drink, and then you drink it, and then you fill it with the next person gets to choose, and the next person, like at our Burger King, you get free refills. Just buy one drink, and then I'll share it. Okay, I got a garbage load to take out. And I'm going to film going next. I'll film the, what is it called? The corn sale. Now, see, Jamie says corn because he's from this part of the country that they don't say the hard O, corn. And he doesn't say star. He says store. So he gets it all mixed up because that's store is a O when he's trying to say star. And we live in Star Valley, so he says Store Valley. And then the Lord, he says the lard. I'm like, what are you talking about, lard? We don't eat lard. Oh, he's talking about the Lord. Lord. So I give him speech class and speech lessons, because who says who's right? I'm saying I'm right. Well, maybe he's right. But anyway, so I'm telling him how to say corn. And so he tries to correct himself. But then I had to laugh because one time I was saying, Jamie, let's go shuck the corn. I said corn instead of saying corn. I'm picking it up after him living here. So then I have to be careful because I don't want to be a Wyomingite, even though I've lived here longer than I lived in Brookings, Oregon. I'm sad that Oregon is so horrible. And now I heard this morning that they've passed a thing, they're trying to pass it, or they did pass a thing in California, that the immigrants can buy a house, like no money down and, you know, all this extra care to buy a house, when the Americans that have lived here our whole life and the veterans and stuff, they don't even get that opportunity. I didn't really, Glenn Beck was talking about it. If you want to see it, go listen to Glenn Beck. I was just horrified that the California people, of course, how could they afford a house in California? There's so much. I wouldn't think any of them qualified. But then when if they resold it or they've refinanced it or something, then they didn't get as good a deal. So they would like have to buy it and stay there. I don't know. I should have took notes because I can't remember anything. But it was, you know, California is a beautiful state. But now when you go there, it's almost ruined with all the homeless people and the ways. Don't they have really high state tax when you buy stuff there too? So I know that because they go over the Oregon border up into Oregon and buy stuff because you don't have to pay sales tax in Oregon. And I think Michigan is the other state. There's a couple states you don't pay sales tax. Wyoming, we have to. But Jackson Hole, Wyoming has bigger sales tax than here. All right, I'm going to give her this and see how their corn sale is going. Goodbye.